I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey and today we'll be doing a special video. In case you're watching this channel for the first time, I come from a background of competitive Carcassonne and imperfect information games in general. So here's another imperfect information game. I recently got introduced to the world of competitive Scrabble. I've been studying the game from scratch on and off for the last 3 months, and I've been finding it quite addictive to say the least. Many of you will be already familiar with competitive Scrabble, or at least casual Scrabble to some extent, but in case you aren't, you'll find it self-explanatory once you see what's happening on the board. I'll be playing English language Scrabble, and I know that most of my viewers don't speak English natively, but don't worry, neither do I, technically, and neither do some of the top players in the world. I'll explain a bit later how that is possible. But for now, let's just create a table with standard tournament settings and wait for an opponent. We are playing on woogles.io, which is the website where all the strongest competitive Scrabble players are. I also think it is the best website because it was created by competitive Scrabble players who just happen to know how to code. So there's a similarity between competitive Carcassonne and competitive Scrabble in that regard. For those of you who don't know, out of the top Carcassonne players, I know just a handful who happen to be not software developers. Everybody else seems to be one. Well, anyway, there are some downsides that woogles.io is still relatively small, so we could be waiting for an opponent for a while. The upside of the website being small is that the screen name Alexey was still untaken until now, so that's nice. Alrighty, somebody joins our game. Oh, okay. So we're playing against a strong player. I've played before them once and I lost. And I know for a fact that they know more words than me. But let's try and use our Carcassonne experience to compensate for our inferior word knowledge. So let's look at their stats. 29 average play, so it's a bit more than me, but it's not impossible. So we just need to draw well and try to not make stupid mistakes. Okay, speaking of that, if we do make a stupid mistake, you don't have to yell at the screen or anything if there's like an obvious play that I'm missing, because after the game, we will analyze it with an engine. That's right, this website has a Scrabble engine. I wish we had that kind of stuff for Carcassonne, so we'll be able to see everything that I missed. So, we have an S, E, D, which is really nice. We have a Q, which really makes it hard for our rack. So I think that exchanging here has to be the right play. I have something like Gled, but it's only 12. Keeping GQS, terrible leave. The question is, do we keep that? Do we exchange something else? Do we just keep ES? I kind of want to keep EDS maybe. I think that's correct, but let's see. Okay, so we already have a better rack. Our opponent exchanges as well. Do we have a bingo? I don't think we do. Housed, well, we do have something like this. We would have rehoused through an E. Howders. I haven't seen this rack before. I'm just trying. Oh, actually, we also shoulder through an L. Do we just like pass? I don't think that's the best play, but like we could pass. Okay, let's keep thinking. I'm not sure. 24 points. Do we have a 5-letter word that doesn't burn the S? That's the question. I can't see one. So the best that I see is something like this for 14, keeping a decent leave. Actually, we could even go shorter and do something like this, keeping the D for duh. Okay, let's play off the D. Just to get a few more points. We have a decent draw. I don't think it's going to be a bingo, but it's nice to have a Z. We've spent 3 minutes on one move, which is not ideal. We should be picking up the pace. They're thinking for a long time too, which I like. It could mean one of two things. One is they have a difficult track with, I don't know, loads of consonants or loads of vowels, and they're trying to figure out how to get rid of them. And the other possibility is they have a blank and they have tons of bingos available for them, and they're trying to figure out which of the several 70-point plays is the one which is slightly better. I hope it is the first scenario over the second, but we will find out soon enough. He plays nod. Okay, that's... does not give back a lot. Well, it does give back this lane. I have nods or node, and I can play something here. Well, I mean, we could play something like this for 31, keeping HDS, which is not great. I am getting rid out of really good tiles. That's also not any better. I wish I could play something like this, keeping a strong leave of REDS, except something that would score more. Let's see if we can find it. I don't see anything straight away. Or maybe do we just keep the Z? No, I figured that it's okay to spend it. We can go here. It gives back something like Zineb, Zeta, 5-letter plays from the Z. And I don't have tiles to play any of those. But then 30 points. I mean, let's just take the 30 points. I don't see any... Oh, wait. What am I doing? What am I doing? I have Joe for 50. The double Joe. Oh, man. I almost blundered. Okay, so this is fantastic for us. I have keeping a strong leave, scoring 50, setting up. I have a Z for Joe's. I draw decently for my next play. We're up 50 points, which is great. It's not for long. My opponent's going to play something. There are some lanes over here. Okay, so he plays ooh, so you haven't drawn quite a bingo yet. Let's see if I have a bingo. I don't think under something, maybe? Just double checking. Nunders, dunners, asunder. Yeah, by the way, this is what I do. I'm a musician. That's what I do for a living. And that's why I perceive things by sound a lot. So when I play Scrabble, I like to actually say things out loud. That's how I find words and recall them. So you'll be hearing a lot of that. I don't think other competitive Scrabble players do that, but there we are. Okay, so we actually could play something like under. That's 26, but I want to keep... Ideally, I want to play something shorter. I want to keep maybe like nerds for my leave. Maybe like play something UN, but imagine like this, but something that would score more points. Let's just think how we can get... I mean, this looks like a word. I've never seen this before. It could be a word, but we're not doing this. We're only playing words which we know. That's probably dunners. What could that even mean? That's not a word. I know that tunners is a word. That's 29. Okay, let's just play under. So we are breaking up our... Wait. Do, is that even a word? I don't think DOO is a word. Okay, never mind. I'm not sure if that's a word or not. I should be able to know all the 3-letter words, but I do sometimes get confused because they're all so similar. Is that... Okay, let's play duns. We're gonna burn our S, or we could play done, but I feel like it is worth spending the S for extra 18 points. REN is a decent leave. We don't give back too much, although he could play something over here. I wish I had something with a double N, but I just can't see it. We will find out later on. So, okay, this is what I'm gonna play. Okay, well... We draw fantastically, which helps. I think we will be bingoing no matter what my opponent does. He plays Scott for 29. We should have something like re-enter, but where does it play? Well, at the very least, we have resented or something. It's only 59 points, and it's super dangerous. We need to look for more words. Entrees. Well, actually, entrees works perfectly, yeah? Something like this. That's 63. It's already a little bit better, although it does give back this line. Can we have... Is there anything... Oh, we also have something like centered for 60. Putting the C there is not that bad. But I feel... No, we need to find something better. I feel that maybe we can have something with like an E. Or maybe we can have a 9 through DA. But again, I don't see it immediately. What about this? That's 62. That's not that bad. And this one's 63. So there's a very little difference, but I think if we play something like this, entrees for 62, it gives back some floaters, but it doesn't give back new lanes for 7s. So that's what we're gonna do. And we draw another blank, so we're just doing fantastically this game. I could have played entrees with node as well, but it would have scored slightly more. But it's just not great positionally. He plays root and ruts. I'm up almost 100. And do I have a bingo there? Unglover. I know that's unglove is a word. It's a verb. I don't think unglover is a word. I was thinking of this. Oh, okay, so we have overlong. Is that a word? Or over something. Overling, is that a word? Yeah, I want to only play words that I'm sure about. Groveling, roveling, nah. Overling. Okay, I think overlong is a real word. Or is it? I don't know. So maybe we play something else instead. Something like really silly, like Glover or whatever. Nah. I think there has to be a bingo here. Okay, we have to play something. So we could play something like Vigo for 8. No, come on, that's so bad. Fine, we'll just play glove. I mean, I'm just not sure of overlong or overling. So that's why we're going to go with something really simple. Yeah. We will be bingoing eventually, but maybe that was a mistake. Because you see now we draw like not very good tiles. Well, we draw an X, which is nice, but we don't have a bingo. Yeah, and we give... Well, he has joy for 39. We're up only 60. We could play just X for 31. But then we would be keeping not such a great leave. I could play actually just EF. No, let's just go for points. Let's just play EX and see what my opponent has. So do we have something? Fronter? Refront? Is that a word? I feel like fronter should be a word. But again, I haven't seen this before. I've only studied like the top 1,000 7-letter words, and I think my opponent has studied the top 2,000. So they should be knowing twice as many words as I do. And also, like with the blanks, it's even though blanks are great, like because you are very likely to bingo, it's actually harder to find plays with a blank because you need to go through the alphabet and look at all 26 opportunities. Well, let's try to do that. Fournier, is that a word? Maybe. Okay, he plays Praeties, which I know for the fact is a real word. Praeties, pirates. And we're even now. Forerun. Okay, forerun is a word for sure, forerunner. So let's just play forerun. And ref and exo. And be a bingo up. Both blanks have been played. I drew both blanks. Oh, he challenged forerun. That's interesting. So we get an extra 5 points. Yeah, the rules here, we're playing with the international rules, which means that if my opponent thinks that I played a phony or a fake word, then they can click the challenge button. If I indeed played a fake word, then I'm forced to take the tiles back and score 0 points. But if it turns out that the world is real, then they lose 5 points, which is not a lot of points. But in North American Scrabble, the rules are harsher. But we don't have time to talk about it. We need to play Filatia, Tilapia, Affiliate. I feel like we should be close to a bingo, but they play iwi, which is a real word. I forgot what it meant. We're short on time, so I think we should actually... we could play just fats. Maybe we can just play frail for... Yeah, I think we just play frail for 18. We get rid of a bingo lane. We get rid of our duplicates. I think it should be okay. What else can we play? I don't see anything in particular. Maybe there's some overlaps. Oh yeah, actually, no. Because we can't overlap the P because we don't have an O or U. So we're going to play just frail. We are close to vegetate, but not really. Vestige, navigate. Not quite. Vintages, tantalizingly close. Well, we do have Vig here. Actually, this is what we will end up playing in all likelihood. It's 30 points, does not give much back except for the Dag's hook, and gets rid of our V and gets rid of our duplicate eyes. What else could we play? We could play something like Give, which is not bad as well. It's 20 points. Okay, our opponent bingo's back. He plays Arabize, and we're now only 20 points ahead. So now it's a real game. We could actually lose this. Hopefully we don't. So, do we still play Vig, or do we have something better? Maybe like GIT for 27, just to take out that spot. And then maybe we play something... Yeah, because we don't want our opponent to score, right? And then we can get rid of our V next turn. Although equity-wise, this is just so much better, right? Okay, let's just go with the equity play because we're short on time. But I'm really tempted to do this just for defensive reasons. We'll be going up 50. I can't. No, greed. That's it. If he scores high, he scores high. Let's see if we get punished for our greed. We draw decently. Are we close to any bingos? I feel like we maybe have a bit too many vowels for that. Aeolin, oleates, aerolite through an R, but they're not going to give us a floating R. In fact, there are no floaters on the board. Floaters meaning tiles for which you can play. Ooh, they play Mac. Ooh, that hurts. They take the lead. Well, I'm not sure if I could have done much about this. I think I'm just going to play just something over here to get rid of a couple of tiles. I am keeping a lot of vowels, but I'm also very short on time. Maybe Tau. That's a little bit better. Just to take out that spot. Okay, we are only up 18, and we will be likely losing 10 because we will be going for the overtime. The way the time format works is that you don't lose on time when you run out of the 40 seconds that I have on the clock, but you lose 10 points for every minute that you spend overtime. And here we're playing with 1 minute overtime, so if I spend more than 1 minute overtime, then I lose the game. Yeah, you know what? Kind of playing and commenting is a bit harder than playing. Playing is hard enough. So we need to look at our next play already in advance. I don't think either of us will be bingoing. It's not easy to end a bingo with a K. Somebody could end a bingo with a C. I'm thinking of playing something like this for 28 points on my next move. It leaves a good scoring spot for my opponent, but not quite a bingo lane, so I think I'll be able to survive that. I could also play something like this for 17. We need to look for more options. Do we have any overlaps here? Nope. I don't see anything special. We don't have an N for Exxon. From this E, we can't really score that much. Is that a word? I don't think so. I also just realized something. Instead of for run, I should have played for ran for positional reasons, because with 4 run, I was risking my opponent having an S and making 4 runs. Actually, it's still possible, like 4 runs and whatever. Gnaws, right? I'm just gonna put some random tiles there to see how much this would score. 38, that's really a lot. So if somebody draws an S, they could use that spot. Aha, my opponent has vowel trouble, so he plays U2, maybe hoping to draw a bingo. Well, I think we're just gonna go with our plan. I go over here. This is also taking out a bingo lane, by the way, because my opponent could have played a 7-letter word there. And now it is much harder to play a 7-letter word over here, although it's not impossible. Yeah, and I think now the only bingo lanes remaining are these 2 8s ending with a C or a K. Something ending with IC is certainly possible. So unless my opponent plays here, we can play something like lawn for 35. I don't think my opponent will allow that unless they have a very, very horrible... Oh, but they do! They can't use this G square, because look at this. The only vowels remaining are E and I, and in order to use the G, they're going to need an A or a U. I'm the only one who has an A. Actually, they can't use the spot properly. They can only like go up to this I, so this is fantastic. And also another thing that is fantastic is that this website tracks the tiles for you automatically, both for you and both for our opponent. Okay, so they play use. I am going to play lawn. And we are going to try hold on to our lead. Like, we now know each other's tiles. Like, they have this, and then what could they make? Epenthetic? No, that has way too many letters. Pectines? No, it doesn't quite work. They could play nitpick. I don't see anything else, but they don't have a bingo. That's the important part. I'm 40 points ahead. I still have 23 seconds, so I might even finish this game without going overtime. Yeah, they scored 40 points with U's and 4 runs. So this is the thing that I was talking about. I should have played 4 ram instead of 4 run. If they do play nitpick, then we will be able to play modal and then go out. Well, we won't be able to go out. They're going out first. But we're not keeping too many tiles on our rack. We can play Oma for 16. We can play Maid or Mode for 13. What else can we play? Something like Mop for 19, keeping 4 tiles. What we're trying to do now is to play as many tiles as possible so that our opponent does not pick up extra points from my rack. Because if my opponent spends all his tiles first, then they get to score points equal twice amount of the points that are remaining on my rack. They play Picnic, which is a good move. We can't play Moded, Loamed, Mailed. I'm just gonna go with something that I'm extra sure. And now they're gonna go out with ET, but I don't think they can win. I don't think they can score 20 points, right? Because they need to overcome a 24-point difference. They will be picking up 4 points from my rack, but where do they get 20 points? Yeah, we need to pass. Well, this was a close one. I win with only 6 points difference. Overall, I feel that my opponent played a little bit better than me. That was a bit luckier. Opponent saying well played. I'm not sure about that. I think it was all right. Yeah, let's just... So, let's see what I missed. But in order to do that, I first need to move my face, because this is where all the engine suggestions are. I don't know if you can see them. Hopefully you can see them. So, the engine likes keeping the L, but the difference is like almost non-existent. It's 2/100ths of a point, which is evaluation. I do like to exchange the L. Yeah, and my opponent interestingly chooses not to play something like Baft. Also, they're saying that Arabize instead of Airbase was a big mistake for them. Let's just get to it. So they could have played Baft, by the way. What is it? On this website, you can just click on the word and you get the definition, which is pretty cool. Some Scrabble players don't care because, like, when Scrabble players learn words, they don't care about the definitions. They just memorize the word, a string of letters. I am a linguist and I like words. So I do like to learn the definitions as well. And also knowing the definition helps me to recall that word later when I'm trying to anagram something from my rack. Baft, a kind of coarse fabric. I didn't know that. Keeping PRT, yeah, that was probably the play, but they chose to exchange. I think that was conscious. That wasn't a miss. That was a real decision there. And I think the decision was positional. They just didn't want to give me back floaters. They didn't want me back opportunities to score points. It's actually quite common amongst professional players to exchange on your first turn. And here, interestingly, I was thinking of playing instead of da, even though it scores fewer points, 4 fewer points actually. It keeps a leave which is closer to a bingo. So I think da is also fine. Just get the 4 immediate points, and I mean RSOE is also a fine leave. And as you see, the two plays are close. But this just shows you that the best equity plays does not necessarily mean the highest scoring play right now. What this engine does is that it relies on something that's called static evaluation. Each tile has, just like in Carcassonne, has a specific value. For example, S is like super valuable. I think it's worth 10 points, 8 points, something like this. E is also very good. And so that's why, even though I played for 14 points, the valuation of my play is 31.3 because the computer is adding the nominal values of the tiles that I'm leaving. So that's what the best Scrabble players do. They're kind of trying to balance between scoring points right now and keeping good tiles for scoring later. There's another thing that competitive Scrabble players do, is that they try to position their tiles in such a way that does not give back opportunities to score for one's opponent. And this engine here does not care about that stuff. So this engine just analyzes the equity, which is good enough already to beat most players. It's just not good enough to beat like the very, very top players. So this engine that I'm working with, it can beat most players consistently, and it can beat the very top players in the world around 40% of the time. Okay, oh, my opponent missed bingo for rotundas, which is a word I happen to know actually. So that, and as you see, and they played nod instead. They're saying picnic was betting. Okay, we'll get to that play. So they played nod. Yeah, but like if you're not gonna spot rotundas, I think nod is actually pretty good. It keeps a strong leave of ARST. Now here, oh, I could have even played Joe. Huh? I missed the Z, just because I almost played 0, which would have been a huge miss. Not only would I score 20 fewer points, but actually I would keep a worse leave as well. So Joe. I played Joe. Of course, this was better. ERS is like not as good but as DERS, but it's just better to take the extra points. So ISO is what the engine suggests, but also I think I like my opponent's play. Certainly makes sense to keep a very strong leave. It has an S, has an opportunities to play Joes and something, nods and something. And here comes my lack of word knowledge. I had underns on my rack. I have no idea what it is. Originally the 3rd hour of the day, or underns, I don't know. Or underns here. Yeah, underns in many positions. But you see, like, if you don't know the word, then immediately you just lose so many points. So I missed a bingo, my opponent missed a bingo, and I played just duns. Rund was an option. To be honest, I didn't even know rund. Like, I've studied 2-letter words, I've studied 3-letter words, but I've studied only half of 4-letter words. I think I know about 2,000, and they are around 3,500 4-letter words remaining. I didn't know rund. And of course, rund is much better than duns because I'm burning my S. That is not great. My opponent plays cuts, which is great, and we have a variety of options. Terrene. Oh, I didn't think of this hook ending with N. Also, I didn't know the word tureen. What is it? An earthenware jar. Preteen, yeah. Entered. I should have thought about that spot. Yeah, because, I mean, I played entrees for what? For 62. Okay, I lost 6 points. So it's not like a big deal. But also, playing something preteen or entered is just better positionally, and I just should have thought about this spot. The reason why it's better positionally is that it leaves fewer things back from my opponent. It leaves only 2 floaters, whereas the thing that I played, what did I play? Entrees leaves 4 floaters. So that was not great. Jitter for my opponent was an option. Actually, that looks really good. They played root. Huh. Maybe they were hoping to draw something like Narties through the J. Narties also happens to be a bingo, which they played against me the last game. They played Jitter. Yeah, looks like a good play there, but it also gives back a nice scoring spot for me. So maybe that's why they didn't want to do it. Overlong was a real word. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. I chickened out. I mean, well, overling is not a real word. Like, I know that underling is a word. I figured maybe like overling is the opposite of underling. Overlong, it means too long, right? What does it mean? Too long, yeah. Of course, I could have just clinched the lead there. Because you see, I played all the other plays, grovel, glove, they just score nothing. I played glove. My opponent played joy immediately. Which they should. Earth is alright. Maybe I should have played Earth. I think X is fine. Now they have this famous rack of parties, praties, trapes, and so all kind of things. They have played the highest scoring bingo of praties. Yeah, and I have Forerun and Foran and Profaner. Oh, that's cool. So actually there only were 3 bingos playable. I found the highest scoring one. As I said, I should have played Foran instead of Forerun, because Forerun allows an S-hook, 4 runs, for an easy like 40 points play, which happened later in the game. Iwis. The engine suggests burning the S, but actually I like what they did. I think Iwi was a good play. Oh, except maybe even this was alright. Yeah, maybe they should have played Iwi here. It is very aggressive, but given that they're down 80 points, maybe they should be aggressive. And it also forks the board. It creates a bingo lane, so they could start a bingo here from QIS to QIN, down to the triple, or they could even triple. Maybe I will be forced to score like 30 or 40 points here through this I, trying to take out this spot, and then on the next move they will bingo through here. So I like this play, but what they did also makes sense. It opens another lane for bingos as well, except that this lane doesn't score that much. And it also keeps a good leave. So certainly I think it is better not to burn the S. Now, yeah, I could have played fail there. I think at the time I was in slight time trouble, so I missed this. That was probably better. Airlift. I didn't see that, but that would have been good, just burning through more tiles. I played frail. Yeah, fail. No, fail was better than fail, because it doesn't give too much back. It doesn't give back, you know, a triple lane. It does give back plays here, like 30-point plays with QIN. Something like, I don't know, Pan and QIN. Or Pain. Or Pans. I don't know. Actually, it also gives back a bingo lane. No. Yeah, it gives back a bingo lane over here. So actually, I don't want to be doing that. Frail is not horrible. So airbase and arabize. So these were the 2 options. Why was airbase better? I have to ask them, because I'm not quite understand this. Because both airbase and arabize seem to give back the same. Well, let's see what they think. Anyway, they played Arabize, which I think is perfectly fine. It's 70 points. I get Vig. I went for the top equity play. And maybe that's okay, because if I play something like Git, I mean, I score fewer points. I keep a worse sleeve. And then when I played Vig, right, I'm keeping bingo prone tiles AETI. Yeah, so then like if my opponent bingos, maybe I can bingo back immediately, something like this. Oh, I get this. So going back to the previous turn, the reason why Arabize was not as good as Airbase is because it puts an A next to the triple, which means that there are more overlaps that I can play. So like with Airbase, in order to make a two-letter words, I have to put an E over here. But with Arabize, almost any consonant can form a two-letter word. Yeah, so that makes sense. So you see, very subtle decisions, right? I actually didn't think about this during the game. So that's good that we are playing against a strong player who can explain that stuff for us. Yeah, they play Mac, which is the best play for them. Lepta, what's that? A monetary unit of Greece. Do I have any Greek viewers? Like lepton? Well, I mean, I know Greece has euros. There used to be drachms, but is lepton like 100 of a drachm or something like this? I didn't know. T-Pearl, also I didn't know. Also had 1 minute on the clock, so I just had to play something. I played Tao, which I think actually is good because I take out a scoring spot. So even though it's worse on equity, positionally it makes sense because I don't want my opponent to respond. Then my opponent doesn't really have very good options. Has Uke. He chooses to play U2, trying to keep a better leave. Yeah, that was a tough position for them. What are some... what's Yuft? No idea. A kind of Russian leather. I speak Russian as a first language. I've never heard this word in my life. But that's the dictionary for you. All right. Bigot, what's Beigel? Interesting. Hard-leavened, ring-shaped roll. Oh, Beigel is the same as a bagel. And also it's from Yiddish. Well, the more you know. Beige actually is not that bad. Yeah, and this is another thing, that maybe instead of playing use, they could have kept use. So the idea is that they play use right now, and this scores 40, but instead maybe they could play something like... Actually, what could they even play? Just like TI? But it's so few points. Maybe like ET, that's 15. And then they keep use for next turn, and I can't do anything about this because I don't have an S, and this is like really hard to block. Now I play lawn, which is of course... I had piscine. Yes, maybe that was the win for them. But it's hard to spot piscine of the woodpecker family. I think maybe they just didn't know this word, because 6-letter words are the last words that Scrabble players study. So everybody studies 2s and 3s and 7s and 8s because these are bingos, but then you go 4s, 5s, and 6s. So I think maybe they didn't know this. Pectin, I mean, yeah, but it's just hard to spot. So Picnic does score a lot, and then I could have played Loamed. I thought of Loamed, but I wasn't sure it was good. I just wanted to play a thing that wins Alamode. What is that? Imagine spotting this with like 5 overlaps. Alamode is a slightly glossy silk fabric. Lamed, mold. Again, I thought of this. I just wanted to play a word which I was extra sure of. So we play modes. They have their highest scoring out of ET. And we win this game with a 6-point difference. So yeah, I feel like we played both not that bad, to be honest. I mean, of course, mistakes from both sides and a couple of missed bingos, but ended up being a close game. I was fortunate in drawing both blanks, so I'm not going to complain about that. Just like in Carcassonne, sometimes you need to draw the better tiles in order to win. Alrighty, that's the game. Do let me know in the comments if there's anything that I missed or if you have any questions about anything. And also do let me know if you'd like any more competitive Scrabble videos. This is relatively new for me. There's a lot of Grandmaster content which you can watch right now. And in case you somehow found this video because of Scrabble, then probably you're going to like competitive Carcassonne as well. If it shares a lot of common with Scrabble when it comes to not the word part, but the spatial element of trying to set up your words, set up your letters to fit on good squares, defense, on trying to calculate the pre-end game, seeing if your opponent can draw a bingo, all the kind of spatial strategic stuff, which we didn't cover that much today because I was just too busy trying to find words on my rack. So then probably you're going to like competitive Carcassonne. Then feel free to check out my other videos as well. And if you're planning to watch this kind of content more than once, then feel free to subscribe. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.